Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Day's Podcast, along with another video. Um, I wanted to talk about the next sign. So we are at the second to last sign now. We are already at 11. Um, so far with everyone we've talked about, I'm sure it's been a journey to kind of hear, the different aspects of signs and how they are, because not everyone is the same. And a lot of times, when you hear a sign, you think, okay, they're going to be this way. But it also depends on their moon and natal chart. So that's more in depth, if anything. So the next sign we're going to talk about, which is the last air sign, Aquarius. So what we've already uncovered, we did all fire, which is Aries, Leo, Sag. We did all earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And we've done most of water, which is Cancer and Scorpio. So now that we're on the last air, let's talk about it. So yes, element is air. Their colors is light blue and silver. Their quality is fixed. Their day is Saturday. The ruler is Uranus and Saturn. Their greatest compatibility is Leo and Sagittarius. Lucky numbers is 4, 7, 11, 29, and 22. The dates are January 20th to February 18th. Their strengths are progressive, original, independent, humanitarian. Their weaknesses are runs from emotional expression, temperamental, uncompromising, aloof. So what does aloof mean? So removed or distant, either physically or emotionally. They like to detach, uncompromising. They like to detach, but that's based off of them being independent, showing an unwillingness to make concessions to others. What does it mean? Not admitting of compromise or adjustment of differences, making no. Oh, okay. So they honestly so let's see here. Another word of compromising. Adamant, firm, hard line, and flex. Okay, so yeah, they can be cold, but they progress. They stand out. As with them being independent and being a humanitarian, that they know people. They like fun with friends, risky business, fighting for causes, intellectual conversations. So they want to be around good people and have fun and talk about things that bring change. They don't like limitations. Like they feel as though there's more to do and more to have. Broken promises they don't like. Being lonely. So if you at work, so this an Aquarius and Capricorn would be something interesting, because they don't like to be lonely, but they're independent. Capricorns are independent, but they feel as though they would like someone to acknowledge them as much as they can give that back. And yeah, think about that. Dull or boring situations. Yeah, they don't like when things are just, all right, we're just sitting here. They don't like that. Aquarius is one of the most unique signs of the zodiac, and people born under the sign experience a sense of uniqueness. This makes them eccentric and energetic in their fight of freedom. Well, for freedom. or at times shy and quiet, afraid to express their true personality in both cases. In both cases, they are deep thinkers and highly intellectual people who love to fight for idealistic causes. They can see people without prejudice, making them truly special. Although they can easily adapt to the energy that surrounds them, Aquarius representatives have a deep need for alone time to restore their inner power. So they'll be extroverted and then abruptly introvert, which I feel like a lot of signs do in their own way. The sign of Aquarius belongs to the element of air, finishing the story of Gemini and Libra, and connecting them through the opposition of freedom in relationships. They rely on their mind and spoken words most of the time, and without mental stimulation, they might lose interest even in things that initially excited them. So they could be really having a good time, and if they're not feeling like it's getting any better, they're like, all right, well, I'm heading out. And it's like, oh, all right, well, they see the world as a place full of possibilities. Like I said, they have a need to be spontaneous, follow the moment, and live life to the fullest, never wasting precious time. So like I said, every minute being out and doing something, they want it to count. It just frustrates them when things just, like Libra, just go left. It's like, what's going on? Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, with its traditional ruler, Saturn, by its side. Although Uranus has an abrupt, timid, and sometimes aggressive nature, the presence of Saturn grounds them enough to help them find the distance they need from other people to remain somewhat indifferent. Aquarians are visionaries and are always ready to, for change, known for their intellectual abilities and for shaking up the world once they're in it. They feel best as part of a certain community, but they might have trouble finding the right place where they truly feel they belong. Aquarius, the pretty protege. While the beautiful Ganymede, the cupbearer to the Greek gods, may have appeared thin and weak, this does not diminish the strength of character in these individuals. They always have someone to support and guide them towards enlightenment. They are often in positions of power, and their issues with authority usually stem from their relationship with other people rather than the leadership structure itself. To find their center, they must be willing to dig deep and embrace their own essence. Intellectual stimulation is the greatest aphrodisiac for an Aquarius. There's nothing that can attract them more than interesting conversation. Openness, communication, imagination, and willingness to take risks are qualities that fit well in the emotional world of this zodiac sign. Their compatibility with other signs can be complex, as they represent the opposition itself and have trouble relating to others if their sense of freedom is in any way endangered, or they perceive it to be. Integrity and honesty are essential for anyone who wants to remain in their life. And feelings won't have much to do with how they treat betrayal and those who let them down along the way. They give independence to their partner, seeing them as equal and just as powerful as they are. Even though they can have all the freedom they desire, they can still have trouble with day-to-day interaction, even with those they are deeply in love with. They still day-to-day need to figure themselves out with how they interact in situations that are upon them on that particular day. As a sign of freedom and solitude, Aquarius can be too difficult to be with for some static and passive signs of the zodiac. So, with friends and family, despite their ability to communicate, Aquarians need time to build closeness with a friend, and they may unconsciously do a lot to avoid being emotional and vulnerable around others. They are willing to self-sacrifice, but only if absolutely necessary. And by the time they jump in to help, a person in trouble will probably realize that they never needed help to begin with. They need creative friends with integrity and a strong intellect. As far as with family, family, as these individuals have expectations from their family, even though it might not be their place to search for answers and that their parents should seek. They will do so anyway, and more often than not impose their will on family members from the best possible intentions to make them get along. However, the sense of duty they have with some relatives won't keep them around for very long, as emotional blackmail hardly ever touches the soul of an Aquarius. So this is a sign that brings enthusiasm, excitement, and innovation to the workplace, and has a remarkable ability to exploit their imagination for business purposes. Their high intellect, combined with their willingness to share their talents, inspires many people in their lives. They are visionaries who like to engage in humane activities and need to work in a place that supports better circumstances for endangered groups of people. The finances of this zodiac sign can be spent on various risks, but can also be saved. So they may spend, but they'll make it back. All they need to create a saving zone is something to look forward to. They are well adapted to their sense of style and are not afraid to show it. This is why their choice of colors can make a difference in their emotional state. They can excel in professions such as piloting, photography, the creative things, but they also make excellent programmers, mathematicians, and scientists. They often need to be able to show their personality without many strict guidelines to the way they do so. The men are unpredictable, intelligent, social, independent, and excellent communicators. They can also be unreliable and inflexible, but the right partner can help them become more punctual and flexible to some extent. An Aquarius man sometimes lives inside his mind and needs a companion to talk about his progressive thoughts and ideas. In the game of seduction, one must first become their friend, and everything else will come around. As things fall into place and he discovers he can trust the person standing in front of him, each Aquarius has a chance to meet their own boundaries and see if there is anything else they need to break. As a man who carries the sun in the sign of in detriment, this individual has trouble fitting in. He needs someone to respect his need for freedom, his individuality, and most of all, his honest desire to make a difference in the world. An Aquarius woman is independent, mysterious, free-spirited, and eccentric, with a fine sense of humor and a strange inability to stay consistent and present. She may seem cold and aloof, but she needs someone to romance her senseless and sharing good she needs someone to romance her senseless and share good conversations with. Truly exciting, she makes an excellent partner in emotional, sexual, and especially mental issues. However, her dedication might not hold very long if she feels even an ounce of disrespect along the way. She is drawn to people who stand out from the crowd and needs someone to build her trust and take her by the hand into better circumstances. An Aquarius woman is often a highly imaginative partner, mostly in her sexual expression, and wants to try out new things on a regular basis. Still, she needs to know that she is valued and loved, and at the same time, free from demands and pushiness that some of her partners might be prone to. So, they just want someone to just be able to be themselves, not have to feel like they have to switch anything, just be themselves and enlighten them, because they'll enlighten you in their quickness to do it. The signs that Aquarius should consider: Aries, Gemini, Libra, and Sagittarius. So all I see is air and fire going on. The rest of air and fire. Besides Leo, which I don't always see Aquarius with Leo, but yeah. And I mean, they can be with earth signs too. They're not with earth signs. But that's who I mostly see them around. And I don't always see them around water signs. Not all the time. Not all the time. Yeah, but that's about it for an Aquarius. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with another episode.